Hey guys, and welcome to the video. So today I wanted to show off an idea that I had for an extended timer in Terraria. As I'm sure many of you guys are aware, the longest built-in timer to the game is 5 seconds, so what I wanted to do was design a new timer that not only would be longer than this, but could also be configurable. So let me show you what I came up with. So here it is. The first thing I wanted to make sure was that it was relatively compact and it wasn't too over-the-top complicated. Now, it may look intimidating at first, but components-wise, it really doesn't take that much, and you could get it in pre-hard mode. Alright, so let me show you what's going on here. So the main mechanic that's being used here is the new grates that were added in 1.4. So I have a 5-second timer that's sending a pulse to two things. It's sending a pulse to these grates, and it's also sending a pulse to this dart trap here. And then the dart trap is shooting into a pressure plate, which again sends a pulse to the grate. So what this means is that two rapid pulses get sent to this grate, only allowing a small amount of water to fall into the lower tank from the upper tank. And then I also have two liquid switches here, and what they're doing is they're basically sensing when the water level hits the top of the tank. So once the liquid reaches the top of the tank, it's going to send a pulse to our output, which I'm signifying as these gem spark blocks here, but that could be anything. That's just whatever you want your output to be. And then it's also sending a pulse to one of the inputs on this SR flip-flop. And when the pulse gets sent from the liquid to the flip-flop, it basically sends a dart from here, and that hits the pressure plate, which then turns on this timer, and the timer will then pump the water from the bottom back up to the top, and then once the water is sensed at the top of this tank, signifying that the pump is done, that sends a pulse to the other input on the flip-flop, which then sends another dart here to turn the timer off. And the reason why I can't just have the output of the flip-flop go straight to the timer is because as soon as the timer gets turned on, it'll start sending pulses to the flip-flop's output, which will then cause problems, so we don't want that to happen. And that's it. So you can see if I turn on this timer, which is basically our on-off switch, it'll start sending pulses here, and you just saw it there, the water's going to start filling up. And this size here that I have built is just about exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds for the timer. So this timer could be any time that you wanted it to be. So all you have to do is, once you have the core components built, you could just change the size of the tanks, and then depending on the size of the tank, the timer will be longer or shorter. And you see there, that flipped the flip-flop. So now the pump is pumping all the water, and as soon as it hits this, we can see that the pumps turn off, and now it has been reset. So say you wanted to send up a firework as a little bit of a display in your base or something, but you didn't want it to happen every 5 seconds, you wanted it to be a more rare occurrence. You could use some size of this timer in order to send a firework up every, say, 3 minutes or so. Basically, any application where you need a timer that's longer than 5 seconds, and you want it to be configurable, this is a timer that could work for you. Also, if you guys were curious about how to build the SR flip-flop, if you head over to the logic gates page on the Terraria wiki, there is a bunch of useful stuff on there, including the SR flip-flop. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for today. So if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to stay up to date with videos in the future. And other than that, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.